Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've been gone for a bit. I actually just finished college. I didn't go to the graduation, I didn't walk. I didn't really feel like doing that. One of the biggest reasons is I left the music therapy program and I left the Kane College of the Arts entirely, so it was kind of like if I went to graduation, I wouldn't really have sat with my friends, and that kind of would have been lame. Not gonna lie. It would have just made me emotional, in not a good way. But I thought I'd make this video. It feels pretty fitting. I just finished college, so I want to kind of talk about the pros and cons of college, what I liked and what I didn't like. So I thought that'd be fun to do today. Since I've been gone for a little bit, this last month, there was a lot going on. Obviously, finishing college. Actually, I had my best friend's wedding I went to in California, so that was fun. But it took up a lot of time, so I was out of town for most of April. It was kind of crazy. So, the pros and cons of college. First thing, making new friends. I think making new friends is great. Like, that's what college is kind of for. And what's funny is, I'm very introverted. I can go days at a time without talking to a person. It's probably really concerning for loved ones of mine, because I just don't really talk to anybody. But anyway, making new friends was really awesome. You need to get familiar with college. You're trying to figure out where you're even doing. You're figuring out what you want to do with life. All that kind of stuff. It helps when you have a lot of different connections, a lot of different perspectives. I definitely think different perspectives are so important when you're going throughout life. So I was able to make a lot of friends, as well as just making new memories. I can think back to lots of memories I have, a friend group I hung out with a lot, which eventually led me to marrying my husband. As well as just making memories with them, hanging out all the time. So yeah, just, making new friends. Even to introverts, it can be nice. Even though for people like us, it takes a little bit of time to really get comfortable with people, it's really good to have friends. Something I didn't like is expectations to balance everything. Literally, college is such a unique beast because atmosphere of school, of academia, it's so intense all the time because it's literally okay, I got done with this assignment, time to do something else. Oh, I gotta go to this rehearsal. Oh, I gotta go hang out with friends. Hanging out with friends, you gotta balance that too. It gets really crazy. And with all that balancing, I always felt like there was a sort of expectation from professors that was
oh, you can just handle it. You have time.
No, I really don't. So something else I liked is going along with, making friends. The majority of the friends I made was in marching band. Woo!
Nerd alert!
I played the piccolo, and I enjoyed it so much, because I didn't even have a marching band in high school. It's pretty lame. So I met a ton of people there. There's a thing at Utah State where it's called Connections. All universities probably have some sort of thing like this. But Connections is you meet a bunch of people. Marching band just kind of served as a connections class for me, which was pretty awesome because it was really fun. It was hard work. I really liked the way that our marching band instructor, was really, have fun. But when we gotta get to work, we gotta get to work. So I was able to meet all the bandos, all the weirdos, because I'm definitely a band kid. I fit in with that crowd. So yeah, marching band was awesome. Another thing I don't like, and I think everyone thinks about this, obviously. Grades. They rule your life. Grades are so just lame. Grades, especially in the American system, is so stupid sometimes because, say you get a 50% on something, that's a failing grade. When really, when you think about it, 50%, you still got 50%. It's so, unfortunate that people treat it as, oh yeah, you got 50%, you failed. And you're like, what? I got some of it, It's so, blech. Or how, they say C, the letter grade C is the average, but that's treated like it's such a bad thing. The grades that are the good ones are B's and A's. And and not only, like, those expectations, but just, like, again, going with that whole balancing thing, like, you're supposed to have perfect grades all the time. Ugh. Like, it's just not that simple. And I really think, I kind of like this about other countries. I think, like, Australia or the UK, like, they have a little bit more leniency in their grading systems. It's like, in the 70s, it's more like a B or something. I never liked that. Like, if you got 50%, that was failing, because you at least got something, you know? That's a whole, can of worms in itself. Oh, I burp at you grades. Let's see, I put marriage. It was through college that I was able to get married. I met my husband in our friend group. Which it's pretty funny how I met him, because I was actually going on a date with someone else to one of the food places on campus, and there Jace was, my husband. Who was gonna be my husband, sitting there actually with a different girl. So we were both there with, like, different people, and I remember sitting there and thinking, oh, he's cute. And I saw he was with someone else. It was like, whatever. Obviously it worked out. Because honestly, I was getting to a point where I wasn't even sure if I was going to get married in college. Both were like, I don't know about this. So that was nice. Tuition! That's a fun one. It literally goes up every year. The majority of my college experience, I had a scholarship where I was able to basically cut my, like, out-of-state tuition in half. Eventually, when I got married and, I became a Utah resident, that helped. But, tuition, it's crazy thinking about how way more accessible it used to be. You know what I mean? But now it's like the expectation is like, oh no, if you, like, there is still an expectation to work, but it also will drive you nuts. Something else that's good about college is education, like, simply just education, because I learned a lot of things that I can apply, like, even though I went to school for a while to become a therapist, now I can use a lot of those things to be a mother. I learned so much about, like, child development, including, like, through adolescence. I can apply that to being a mom and just overall trying to just be a well-informed, good person. I think education, at least, if you can complete it at the high school level, like, it's so important. I really think education is important. And that's a pro of college. You just get more. I put the amount of work was ridiculous sometimes. Seriously, like, just the expectation that, like, oh, you can do stuff. It'll be fine. Like, you have all this time to do all these. It's just, yeah. The amount of work is ridiculous. And also, like, college is not really, like, the real world yet, It's like, in a way, it's still sort of a bubble before you're getting out into the real world. A sort of, stepping stone. Like, I definitely see college as that kind of thing. And it's a nice transition. Like, say if you go straight from high school to college, you have a sort of in-between period that you can kind of figure out how to be an adult, especially on your own. But, in some ways it can be kind of like, still pretty shocking when you actually get done and then you're just an adult. You almost feel like you have a lot more free time, because not every minute of your day is being sucked up. Plus, you can actually take weekends off, hopefully. Something else that's cool about college is that you have the freedom to choose what you want to do. Like, I was in music therapy, was doing that the entire time, and then literally the semester of graduating, like the semester before graduating, I decided to switch. Other than some heartbreak and just difficult time, like, saying goodbye, there's, like, no consequences to me leaving. In fact, I still graduated with a bachelor's degree, which, like, geez, I'm really lucky, because any other undergraduate bachelor's degree, I would have had to, take a few more years of school, but I just was so done. But I was able to finish it just by switching over to integrated studies, which is just like a general studies. But yeah, like, literally, if I can do that with, like, little to no consequence, like, literally, as I was about to graduate, like, you can totally do it, and it's awesome. So I like that that fact that you have a lot of freedom. There's no time to really live life. Like, all you're really doing is, doing work and school, and it's just doing it all over again every single day. And it kind of contributes to a lot of, like, disconnect to real life, to, like, the outside world. Like, I have a friend that, didn't take the college route, and, that's fine. Like, it's really cool, actually, that there's a lot more possibilities with that. But, like, I was always just so occupied with school that, I'm just anyone outside of college anyway. It's like, okay, hello, you're still here. You know what I mean? There's disconnection from other people that are not in your immediate circle at college, which, I mean, is normal, but at the same time, it's just very, like, it can be very jarring sometimes, and so be prepared if, you're taking the college route. Yeah, I had so much growth from college. I'm definitely not the same person as I was before I came into college. And again, you don't need college to, grow and change as a person, hopefully in the right direction, but I wouldn't have it any other way, especially when I was in the music therapy program. Even though I didn't graduate from that, I still learned so much, and I can apply so much of it to just life. And that definitely it definitely helped when I was taking a class that was like, why, you take classes that are like, why do I have to take this? Why does this apply? I tried to look for ways like, okay, where is this applicable? Like, at the time, I had to take statistics, and obviously I don't really have to do that, but, like, in the context of music therapy is a lot more than just, sitting around and playing guitar and singing with a bunch of people. You actually have to take documentation, you have to do statistics, you have to, see where the trends are if someone is improving in their condition, whatever it is. Statistics. I had to take that, and I had to remember, especially when it was hard, like, okay, no, this is going to be applicable. Ugh, anxiety from school. It's crazy how anxious school can make you. I know it really did a number on me. Trying to be a literal therapist to people was really draining for me, and that was part of the reasons why I didn't feel like it was going to fit with my goals in life. But, that's all right. I put Legally Blonde because I cannot tell you how many times I literally watched this movie to help motivate me to know that I can do this. Because, what's her name? Elle Woods. She was literally like my icon during college. Because literally this girl, she got into Harvard, and she said, what, like, it's hard? That's the energy I needed. So I watched that movie literally as, like, a boost to be like, yes, I can do this. I also watched a lot of SpongeBob because that's just comforting. Dating! Dating was the worst during college because for the longest time, there was, like, 2 guys specifically that, like, I went after. Like, it's so embarrassing thinking about, like, get a grip, girl. Well, because I didn't really date casually during high school. I was always the type where it was, like, one person I liked at a time. So I dated 2 people in high school and then pursued 2 people. I say that because they didn't work out, but, I mean, it's okay. They worked out for the best. It just wasn't right. But dating was just such a difficult thing to do. But then, I finally had a guy that was, like, actively pursuing me. He was like, hey, I want this. And, asked me to be his girlfriend, and then asked for marriage. So it finally worked out, but dating really was just exhausting. Like, it's funny how it works out, because I finally reached a point where I went, no, I don't want to do this. Like, I didn't want to actively seek it out anymore because it just was getting so disappointing. And then my husband was like, hey, I'm here. And I was like, cool. So I took my time with that a little more and tried to just chill out for a friggin' second. But it worked out because I'm happily married now. Honestly, college pushed me in so many ways. I don't think anything else really would have, for me. And it's crazy because I took 18 credits my first semester. Yeah, don't do that. But it's amazing. Like, how much I was really able to push myself. Like, I didn't even realize how much I could really go with that. Kind of a con with that, like, freedom I was talking about is that there's so much to choose from, and, you know, that can be really, really overwhelming. Trust me, you'll find what you want to do. It'll work out. Just a cool thing is it teaches you to multitask and, like, manage your time. Sometimes not the best. Like, sometimes you stay up late with friends instead of studying for that test in the morning. It really taught me a lot. It taught me to, like, be really efficient with my time. Like, if I could only take, like, 5 minutes to, like, practice my instruments, because I was a music major, let's say, it was still, if I made that effective, like, it was still going to be productive. And that was definitely a big teaching moment for me, or, like, you know, a variety of teaching moments for me, because I was very much like the, like, chunk, like, do things in chunks of time, like, big chunks of time too. It was never even like I'll do a little there. Like, oh no, I had to, like, do everything, like, at once. And I still kind of struggle with that, but that was something that college was really useful for, is it helped me just compartmentalize a little more, realize what was important, maybe what I could put off for a bit. But yeah, that was pretty helpful. The thing with that is, if you're perfectionistic, it can cause a lot of perfectionistic tendencies to happen. Especially with the whole, like, there's, like, an expectation to balance everything. And I can't tell you how many times I would hear professors say, like, oh, we don't expect you to be perfect and be able to do everything, but they also do. And I really encourage them to, you know, be able to take a step back and realize, okay, I'm not saying professors don't do that, but sometimes as a student it can really come across as like, oh, they don't even care. They're just like, they expect you to do it. Perfectionistic tendencies, especially when you're a perfectionist, are really hard. But know that it's okay. You don't have to do everything perfectly, even though it really, really feels like it sometimes. So, at the end of the video, I wanted to, you know, give some advice. You know, if you are in college right now, or if you're deciding if you want to pursue college, my first piece of advice is, don't be worried if you don't know what you want to do. Like, that's the point of college. Like, that's why there's, like, an exploratory major. This is the time for you to figure out what you want to do, and it's okay, and it's in fact encouraged if you do a whole lot of classes, because you can get the feel of, okay, I like doing this, but I don't really like doing this. That's the whole point of it. So don't be worried if you don't know exactly what you want to do. There's so much to do and experience, and if you want to, especially if you're a little more, like, extroverted, like, go do it. But if you're a little more introverted like I am, like, you don't have to go out to everything, and you don't have to let people pressure you into doing it. Another thing, don't take 18 credits. Don't do it. At least don't do it your very first time. I promise you, it's awful, and I don't know how I survived it, but it was terrible. Go with, like, 15, which is the normal amount, or go, like, 12. Like, just, I went gung-ho, and geez, was it horrible. And remember to enjoy yourself. Remember that, like, you know, this is the time to just experience. If you're a high school student just going into college, like, this is time to, you know, enjoy being away from home, learning how to be your own person, your own adult, and things like that. It can get really overwhelming, especially during classes and during everything, because it can really get to your head, and I know this. But remember why you're there, and keep in mind of what's important. And then, again, with that last thought of the con of perfectionism, you know, don't let trying to be perfect take over your life. Trying to be perfect is really draining, and it's really hard not to, and I, of all people, understand that. It's really worthwhile to, you know, let yourself slow down and, you know, just take it a step at a time. So, that was my pros and cons of college. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you went to college and you have other things that you thought of. Let me know, like, in the comments what you thought. If, you know, you have some memories, if I missed anything. I'd love to hear any, like, just funny stories you have, or any advice you have for other people that are in college, or, you know, are beginning college. Because, you know, we gotta stick together. That's what life's all about, right? So, that was cool. that was fun to just, talk, because this is one of the first videos where I'm just kind of, just talking about my experiences with life. So I'm looking forward to making more of those, and I hope you're all doing great, and you've gotten something from this video. Please like and comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Every little bit helps as I'm trying to grow this channel and grow this community, and I love you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.